Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Google Digital Garage. My name is Anthea, and I will be your trainer for today. And today we are going to be looking at creating video for YouTube. As I mentioned, my name is Anthea. I'm one of the Google Digital Garage trainers, and I have a background in learning and development, coaching, mentoring, and so many other things, which allows me to work with small business owners and understand some of the challenges that they've got. So I've got a lot of experience in both speaking, using YouTube, and just understanding digital skills and how to convey and communicate messages through different modes of content. Now, today I am not alone. We also have Nar, who is another Google Digital Garage trainer, and Nar is in the YouTube chat right now. So please keep her busy. She will be there to answer your questions, to respond to some of your comments, and also to pass some of those questions on. So as we take breaks, as we go through today's session, I will be able to answer some of these live as well. Now, before we get into it, I just want to cover off a bit of housekeeping. Now, first thing is that if you're having any trouble viewing this at any point throughout today, the first thing is probably just to refresh your screen. Usually that tends to solve 99% of the problem, so that should be okay. If you want to be involved in the chat and comment on things that are happening throughout the session, drop your questions in and things like that, you will need to have a YouTube account. So make sure that you are signed in currently, and if not, please do so now. If you don't have a YouTube account but would like to interact with us live today, please do click on the link that's in the chat right now, and it'll allow you to create an account. And you can do that in just a matter of minutes and come back before you've missed anything. As mentioned, we will be pausing throughout. There'll be a few points where I'll stop specifically to answer questions, but do post your questions in the chat throughout the entire session, and Nar will be responding to them and also potentially passing some of those on to me. Now, in addition to this, we also have a number of different webinars that take place. So this ranges from building, engaging presentations, social media strategy, digital marketing strategy, finding your career goals. We have a breadth of different webinars to support you at whatever stage of your journey that you are in. So please do feel free to visit our website in order to see what other webinars are coming up. If you don't see anything that you like immediately happening in the next week, please do return and check back, as they are constantly being updated, and you'll find that the session that you're looking for will come up at some point. So make sure that you are here, you are present, that you have a phone or a notepad or something that you can jot down notes. This is not a session where you just listen and expect to remember everything and take it away. This is about you making notes that are relevant to your situation, so that once you leave here, you can start thinking about how you can create video for YouTube, and also refer back to some really key points that I'll be sharing with you today. Before I break down how our session is going to go, I want to start off with a very quick activity. Now, it's a bit of fun, so don't take it too seriously. I want to ask a question, and I want you to respond in the chat. If you are only allowed to watch one topic of YouTube videos for the rest of your life, what topic would you choose? If you are only allowed to watch one topic of YouTube videos for the rest of your life, which topic would you choose? Me personally, this is actually quite a difficult one. I might choose Christian videos, because I find them very educational, uplifting, and it kind of keeps me motivated and focused and helps me to be, a better person. So that's something that I think I could get used to watching every single day. But let us know. We've got some things coming in the chat. So as you continue to drop your answers in the chat, I'm just going to let you know how we'll go through today's session. Now, we're going to break it down into 3 sections. Now, the first is looking at your niche. What are you passionate about, and who is your audience? The second is we're going to look at how do you then create great content that will engage people. So we'll start looking at some of the steps that you'll take when planning and shooting, and some additional tips along the way. And then lastly, we'll talk about how you can get discovered and track your success. Because no matter what you're aiming for, whether that's creating a channel for fun or maybe even to create money from it, you have to know how your channel will be seen and also measure whether or not it's been successful. So yes, please let us know. If you are only allowed to watch one topic of YouTube videos for the rest of your life, what topic would you choose? So we have got someone who's saying that they'll go. So Mohammed is saying, apologies if I've mispronounced your name. He's saying I'll go for courses. Shaping Life with Reality Vlogs says Animal Planet. Oh, that's actually a good choice. A bit of David Attenborough every day, I think, will be a really good option. So keep those coming, and thanks for participating. Now, before we get started, let's actually discover why YouTube is even the right place for you and your content. If you are a UK-based business, one of the things that we find that are really useful is that, as great as these webinars are, sometimes you just need to talk to a human being and get a little bit more support. So if you're a small business or a charity from the UK, sign up for our free one-to-one mentoring sessions. You'll be put with a Google Digital Garage trainer like myself or Na. We'll talk through Google Meets for 1 hour, and we will help you with whatever you are facing in your business. We will offer you a series of resources, whether they're Google apps or not, to just help you take that next step forward. And so sometimes it's just nice to be able to brainstorm and share ideas and get different perspectives. So do make sure you sign up for your one-to-one mentoring if possible. Okay, so YouTube, what's its reach? Why is it the right place for you and your content? YouTube is actually the world's largest video network and the second largest search engine behind Google. So bear in mind, Google have the top two largest search engines. Now, over 2 billion users log in to YouTube every single month, which is essentially nearly 1/3 of the entire planet. Like, just imagine that, nearly 1/3 of the entire planet of 7.7 billion people are logging on to YouTube every single month. And every single day, people are watching over 1 billion hours of video, and they generate billions of views. So 500 hours of YouTube videos are uploaded every minute. So when you think about how many people are on YouTube, how many people are watching videos, how many people are uploading videos, this is definitely an opportunity for you to tap into. So do also let us know in the chat, what do you intend to use YouTube for? Why are you here today? What is it you're hoping to get out of this? How are you hoping to use YouTube in the world? Let us know. But being present on YouTube is the only way to give you a voice and an opportunity to connect with the audiences that you want to. Now, YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice and to show them the world. And there are 4 values that YouTube have. And these are shown on the screen. And these are essentially values of freedom. So freedom of expression. On YouTube, people can express themselves and share their story with the world. The idea is that everyone has something important to say, especially you. YouTube people should be able to speak. YouTube believes that people should be able to speak freely, share opinions, foster open dialogue, and that creative freedom leads to new voices, formats, and possibilities. Freedom of information. Everyone should have easy, open access to information, and that video is actually a really powerful force for education. Mohammed mentioned earlier about courses. There is so much educational content on YouTube, and it's powerful for that, for building understanding and also documenting world events, whether they're big or small. So whether your passion is cars or cakes, there is space for you and your passion on YouTube. Freedom of opportunity. On YouTube, anyone can follow their passion and create something that everyone can watch. So everyone should have a chance to be discovered, to build a business, and to succeed on their own terms. And that people, not gatekeepers, want to decide what's popular. And then lastly, freedom to belong. Now, everyone should be able to find communities that they feel supported, that helps to break down barriers and also transcend borders and come together around shared interests and passions. Start thinking about why you use YouTube. Do you see yourself experiencing any of these values? Now, the first step to getting started on YouTube is actually to define a message for your video by finding your niche. So for those of you who don't know what a niche is, and when you're in the kind of small business, entrepreneurial, especially YouTube type, selling position, then you will probably have heard the word niche, which is really just saying it's focus. Who are you specifically going to focus on? And we'll explore that as we go through this section. So identifying the foundations of your channel is going to help you to create content that you enjoy and are passionate about and reach like-minded people. So this is kind of like the what, why, and who. All right, so these are the three questions to ask yourself. What, why, and who? What is your channel about? Why are you creating content? Now, is it for fun? Is it potentially for work? Do you want to document your experiences? Do you want to share your experiences? Do you want to use it to get focused? Maybe you've got a new hobby and you just want to put that on there. And then lastly, who? Who are you sharing this with? Who is your audience? Who's going to watch it? Because whoever watches it is going to determine the style and tone of your videos. So when you create a full and rounded idea of what you're doing, why you want to do it, and who you are aiming at, it kind of helps you to focus your attention and create content with purpose. So let's start with the what. Now, what is your channel going to be about? Now, again, as I go through this, do feel free to pop in the chat what your responses to these questions are. What is your channel going to be about? One of the best things about YouTube is that you can engage with and grow a community no matter what your passion is about. So it could be comedy, it could be sports, it could be fashion, gaming, food, everyday life. It could be because you like to collect miniature horses. Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you are passionate about, but you must have the passion, because I can guarantee you are likely to find somebody else who shares that passion too. And so through YouTube, you have the power to connect with a large and diverse audience with the same passions as you. So you need to determine what that passion is, which is a strong or extravagant fondness, enthusiasm, or desire for anything. So what lights you up? What makes you feel like, gosh, I can't wait to get stuck into this? What are your values and your beliefs? What's your story? And if you're not sure what you want your channel to be about, just consider searching. Go through some content. See what sparks your imagination. See what you enjoy watching. See what makes you feel like, gosh, I think I could do that. I think I want to do that. And you can also research what's trending on YouTube for inspiration as well. Now, one of the key ingredients to success is actually being passionate about what you make. And I can tell you firsthand, you start off with enthusiasm, and enthusiasm only takes you so far. You get to a point where you're like, gosh, I've got to make another video. I have to go through this whole process. Life is happening. All of these things are occurring. But when you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like a chore, it doesn't feel like work. It's just the thing that you really want to do. And YouTube is the medium for which you get to share. So once you know what you want to talk about, the next thing is why. So for those of you who are posting in the chat, why? Based on your what, why? Why do you want to do that? What's your goal? Before you do anything, it's really important to reflect on your channel's mission. Why did you join YouTube in the first place? And what do you hope to accomplish with that content? Why are you creating content? What is it you're aiming for? Build awareness of your passion. Maybe you want to influence or inspire your viewers. Maybe you want to entertain people, or just simply because you love what you do. Creating content actually gives you a chance to positively influence your audience and build trust, which ultimately grows loyalty with your audience. So again, really important to think about the message. if I'm going to influence others with this message, I want to make sure it's going to be something that benefits their life. So before you create content, be clear on your goal. And if you're clear on your goal first, it does make it a lot easier to create the steps to get there. So looking at a few of these examples on screen, Mama Cherry is, I want to inspire people to love and cook soul food. So for her, she's got an option of, welcome to my channel. Together with my family, foster children and friends, we will be sharing soul food recipes, cooking tricks, tips, hacks, all seasoned with love. So you immediately know anyone who's interested in learning how to cook soul food is her audience. Super Sorrel, I want to create a community of toy collectors. A YouTube channel aimed at nostalgic toy collectors. Super Sorrel posts daily, bringing toy content and action figure reviews 7 days a week. And they say, I unbox things so you don't have to. So anyone who's interested in toy collecting knows exactly where to go. And then lastly, Detailing World. I want to share my passion for cleaning cars. So Detailing World actually started as a forum and has used YouTube to actually showcase videos and grow their community. So why do you want to share content? Why do you want a YouTube channel? And again, remember that, yes, one of the goals might be to monetize, or one of the goals might be so you can get attention and likes and follows. But as I mentioned, you really need to have a passion for the content that you're sharing. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to maintain. So get clear on your goal, and then you use that as a foundation to plan out your content. So I want you to let us know in the chat, what is your what and what is your why? What is your what and what is your why? Let us know what your passion is and why you are creating a YouTube channel. While we're waiting for these to come in, I'll give you a few different examples. So one of those examples is, my what is music and my why is to teach people guitar. Okay, it doesn't have to be War and Peace. It could be very, very simple. My what is politics and my why is to spark debate. My what is makeup and my why is to showcase my talent. So again, this is all about you really understanding and being clear on what you are doing, what your passion is, and why you want to share it via YouTube. Because you could be passionate about things, but you could use other mediums to do so. So why do you want to create a YouTube channel? Why do you want to share video content? Why is it that this medium is the one for you? So we've got one that's popped up saying, we're a youth, so Youth Leads UK, we're a youth charity and want to engage young people to get involved in social action, leadership, and becoming active in their communities. Excellent. So this is brilliant, because now you know what your what is. Your passion is about leadership, being active in the community. And then your why is, I'm creating this so that I can get the reach, right? So you can access the young people that you want to share that passion with. So brilliant. Thank you so much for your participation. So the next thing then is to understand why. Deciding who your audience is going to help you reach them. So in addition to telling to why you're telling the story, think about who you're targeting. You want to identify your audience. Who's going to watch your channel? Now, please do not let the answer be everyone. As Youth Lead says, that they're specifically targeting young people. So it's important to have a specific audience, because otherwise, if you say everyone is going to have different challenges in their life, and you're not going to be able to speak to all of them. So have a very specific audience so that you can communicate directly with some of the challenges they might face in that area, and why your YouTube videos are going to be the thing that helps them get through. So if you think about this before you start to create your content, then you can tailor your communication, that message, and because you want to make sure that your videos are relatable. So who and where is your audience? Think about all the details: the age, gender, parental status, life stage, household income, location. What are their behaviors and interests? What hobbies do they have? Music, sports, history, pets, product research. What video content are they currently watching? Is it informational, conversational, social, emotional, or is it just edutainment? So all of these details, especially like the age, geography, or other characteristics, can impact the tone of voice that you use. So a useful tool to help you identify your audience is Find My Audience on Think with Google. Find My Audience on Think with Google. Now, a persona is something that you want to create which represents your ideal subscribers. The idea is that individuals who come back time and again to watch your videos and potentially refer new subscribers to you are the people that you want to really be focused on. Whatever the content is, you're always going to have a persona that resonates with a particular person. So in that sense, again, it really is important for you to learn what that is and be able to adapt to that persona. And again, speak in a tone that's relevant to them, that draws them into your content. It also it gives you a bit of a benchmark to make sure that whenever you are creating content, that you have this benchmark to say, as long as I'm meeting this, then I'm always staying on track. Because it can be quite easy to keep looking at what's trending and get sidetracked with other things that actually don't relate to your audience. And so there's many different sources that you can draw from. And it's really about getting a representation of your audience. So do it by doing your research. So a good place to start is identifying general demographics. So find my audience, as I mentioned. What are their pain points? What are their desired experiences? What are their values and what are their goals? If you already have subscribers on your channel, then use them to create the persona as they resonate with your content already. You can utilize tools that offer statistical insight into how the subscriber behavior translates to the web. So we're going to use a YouTube analytics later in this session. If you don't have subscribers or you don't have a channel yet, do not forget to take advantage of YouTube and Google searches. So remember, these are the top 2 search engines. So you want to know if people are interested in the kind of thing you are passionate about, search for it. How many results are coming up? How many videos are coming up? How many views are those videos getting? Anything that's kind of remotely similar to what you are intending to do, it will give you a clear indication if there is an audience for it already. So you can also think about the keywords, the top search results, and what's kind of helped those people land in those top, search result position. And again, look at the importance of trends. And we're going to be looking at some of that in today's session as well. So remember that when you are creating a persona, add as much detail as possible. So as you can see on screen, we've got a name, we've even got an age, add a photo. You can go to many stock sites and say, this looks like the type of person who I want to be watching my channel. And then just start to break down. Looking at this on screen, this is an idea that you want your audience to resonate with. Rohan, who's 27, he works a 9 to 5. He's based in the UK. He's very much a car enthusiast. He likes to go to car shows and takes pride in his car. He's always on online forums, goes to YouTube to learn, has 2 kids, and is always short of time. So for the cleaning detail, that's perfect because they already have a community. They have videos online. They're also enthusiastic about cars and keeping them clean. So now we have a place where you've got a persona that resonates with the message. And so in this particular instant, it can also highlight the style of content that you might create. So for example, Rohan is always short of time. So quick, short videos are going to suit him more than longer videos. And especially with the introduction of YouTube Shorts, that is an excellent way to do it. So now that we've built the foundations behind our channel, we can start to put them together to create our content ideas. So here is an example. My passion is cars. Why? I want to share my knowledge and teach others. And my persona is Rohan, who is the car enthusiast and loves his car. So an idea here is then create videos that showcase tips on how to look after your car. And this would be perfect for anyone who's like Rohan. So these 3 questions can really help you to identify your niche and give you a very clear idea of the content that you want to create. So just come up with a variety of different ideas and then use these strategies that we'll be sharing in the next section to really decide if this is the right content for you and the right direction for you and your goal. So we'll just take a pause and see if there are any questions. Doesn't look like we have any questions. Shaping Life with Reality Vlogs has mentioned that they're interested in doing entertainment and their passion is to make entertainment their earning resource. So for Shaping Life with Reality Vlogs, I'd ask you to explore on that. Why is entertainment a passion? Entertainment is such a broad subject. What is it about entertainment that you're passionate about? Your passion to make money, who is that going to resonate with? What is the thing before the money? That's the goal. That's the thing that you measure that you've been successful on. What is the thing that you'll be passionate about? And who's going to be interested in that? Right. So I would definitely suggest that you're able to, work on that and figure out what is your passion, why you want to do it and who will benefit. Okay, so let's move on. The next step is about creating engaging content. So from planning to strategy to the equipment that you need. So question here is, what do you think makes an engaging YouTube content? What do you think makes engaging YouTube content? Let us know in the chat. Why do you enjoy watching YouTube videos? What's the thing that makes you want to subscribe and share? There's no right or wrong answer here. This is just about personal preference. It's just useful to kind of get an understanding about, what drives individuals and the fact that we're all here today, yet each of us have a different reason for wanting to watch YouTube videos. So do pop that in the chat. What do you think makes engaging content? So some of the examples that we are going to cover are things like targeting an audience, being shareable, creating interaction. There are some things that kind of draw you in. So it's the fact that it is shareable. What is it that makes it shareable? That it creates an interaction. What's the thing that makes you want to interact with them? And it's targeted you specifically. Why has it targeted you specifically? So Mahmoud says the unique content. What is it about? What makes the content unique is the question I would ask you. But as you know, I can imagine there are many things that we can all enjoy about content. We all like watching different things for different reasons. But the great thing here is that there are very simple and effective ways to get your audience feeling the same about your content. And one way is to see what's popular on YouTube by viewing what's trending on the homepage. And essentially that is a list of trending videos that helps viewers see what's popular and what's happening on YouTube and in the world. So we're going to look at some of these creative strategies that help develop engaging videos and build a loyal community and break down those steps to create engaging content. So the first part is that you need to research and plan. Right, research is the thing that's going to give you a strong foundation for your content. And when you're able to plan your content, it makes creating it a lot easier so that you don't have to just sit there and think, oh gosh, I've got to create content. What am I doing today? And an hour of planning can easily save you 10 hours of actually doing something. The second thing is make sure you have your equipment ready. It's a lot easier to get started than you might think. And we will be looking at equipment later, but just make sure that you have your surroundings in a way that enables you to get access to what you need to create your content whenever you need it. Once you're ready, just give it a go. Remember, it's not about perfection. This is about you sharing your passion. And there are a lot of technical things that can be forgiven when you see the passion that somebody has. It's better to be passionate and create engaging content than it is to focus so much on the equipment and the things that you're using that it takes away from the message you're trying to convey. And yes, there will be a little bit of trial and error, but that's the learning that you'll get, which helps you to hone in on your message. And then lastly, organizing and editing. To think about what you need to do when you're editing. So if we start with research, the main thing here is about bringing well-informed, being well-informed is the thing that's really going to help you kickstart your creative process. So get inspired, right? Get inspired yourself, be inspired, go and look for other things. Try and do, find out as much as you can about the passion that you have. Explore what others are doing. What's already being done by your competitors? Where do you come in with the edge? Listen to experts or someone who's got experience and learn from their story. And also analyze news, trends, and current events, social media trends, current events, debates, things that people feel really strongly about, and then determine how these contribute to the conversation. There are a lot of different resources that are available to support you in terms of research. So I mentioned already, you've got Think with Google. This will help you with Find My Audience, and there's a lot of useful research resources on there. You've also got Google Trends, and this allows you to track the popularity of various search terms over a period of time. So, for example, a channel may notice that search traffic around unboxing tends to spike every year in the months of November and December. So, by knowing this, that channel can now get ahead of the trend by shooting and editing a few unboxing videos in October and scheduling them to release just as the search traffic spikes. And if you already have a YouTube channel, you can also use YouTube search. So just run a search to see the search traffic kind of allows you to see what searches direct viewers to your content and gives you insights on things like the titles, the formats, the audience familiarity with your name or your brand. For example, a channel may notice that a significantly higher number of viewers arrive to the channel by searching for a title of a popular format like meme review, as opposed to searching for the channel itself. So this indicates that a higher viewer affinity for the format and might encourage the channel to make the format a bigger part of the overall channel's content. And then in addition, you've got YouTube analytics. So this will let you monitor the performance of your channels, videos, and content with up-to-date metrics and reports. So I know that you can't necessarily see the images on screen, but these are the things that are going to give you the data that you need, such as traffic sources, views, and demographics. Once you've researched your passion, your audience, and everything in between, you're going to want to start thinking about the type of content you want to create. So the first thing to really think about is what content is right for you. Yes, it's important to figure out what's going to resonate with your audience, but as you are the one who's creating it, you have to be passionate enough about it. So it has to be something that is going to work for you and the audience that you're trying to reach. What resources and time do you have? Realistically, what can you achieve within your day-to-day? And how can you make time for your channel and content? It's better to figure out how much time you actually have, then figure out what to do with it, then try to make this humongous to-do list and squeeze it into time that you already do not have. So you've got a number of different options for content. You've got one-off videos. I've got this thought, I've got this thing. I just want to give this message and deliver a very quick, impactful hit. Maybe I've got something a bit longer, a short form. And again, if you're planning to regularly be on the channel, releasing content with a continuous theme in the same format, like weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, this is a really good option for you to use. For longer form video, which is anything that's more than 3 minutes, you can deliver information in a way that keeps people coming back for more. So an example of this would be like a podcast or an interview, maybe a live stream or a documentary. And you can even, use to create a series. So maybe you've got quite a lot to say. Instead of saying so much in one sitting, why not break it down into a series and just take as long as you want to tell that story? It's like when we go on Netflix and all of those other channels and we watch episode after episode after episode. You can have it as a series. Part 1, part 2, part 3, and you release them as and when you want, either all at once or sporadically. Either way, it might be best to start small and test it out, see what is drawing the viewers in, and test out different types of styles as well. And then once you start to feel you've got the formula, that then helps you to figure out what content you will be putting out, what frequency, so that you can continue to build your audience, your channel, and also get the engagement that you need. It can also be helpful to create a release schedule. Now, definitely would recommend considering a release schedule, because this is critical when building and fulfilling audience expectations. So again, the enthusiastic part of you may say, oh, great, I'm going to have a YouTube channel. I'm going to create all of this content. And then I'm like, right, I'm going to post every day. And then you get tired, or life happens and you can no longer post every day. Because you started like that, you set the expectation that you're going to release videos every day. So when it stops, you're no longer meeting expectations that you have indeed set. So allow the enthusiasm to die and operate from a place of realism. How many videos can you realistically release per week? What days of the week are you likely to release on? Will you rotate the content type? So some creators rotate content types throughout the week. So an example might be a lightweight vlog on or behind the scenes on a Tuesday, and then a higher production value sketch on a Friday. And then decide whether or not you're going to link content to specific days of the week. Tech review Tuesday, fun facts Friday, like whatever it is that you want to do, but just start to consider what's going to work for you. And there is a scheduling option on YouTube, so that when you've created more than one video, you have the option of scheduling them in advance. And you can also enable subscribers to be notified whenever you post something new. So now that you've got this clear idea of what's going on into your video and why, as well as when you are going to release it, let's look at how we fit all of this in terms of and structure the content. So your story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and end, right? It's the hook, you engage, there's a call to action. The hook, so bearing in mind your video may appear on the front screen, and also when you do that, when people hover, there is a period of time, I think it's a minute, that it allows the video to start. So what you want to do is to create a hook that's so captivating that it makes people want to click into that video and actually watch it. So you want them to know what's the aim of the video, and grab their attention with something, leave an interesting fact, say something, that's maybe a bit controversial, that kind of challenges the norm. Oh, I'm intrigued. It's, pique their curiosity. The middle is where you engage. This is your main content. What is it you're trying to communicate, and why is it important? Everything should work towards your core content goals. So it could be that you're identifying a problem and you want your viewers to follow the solution that you're offering. And it doesn't matter what you are doing, whether it's just to inform or to sell, but always have a very clear call to action, because it tells your audience what to do next. As an audience members, we will just watch and keep moving. So you have to tell us, what do you want us to do? Are we to subscribe? Are we to comment? Do we want to watch another video of yours? Go back to your goal. But make sure whatever you're doing, you are always doing a call to action. Regularly ask for comments, likes, and subscribers. And then also make sure that you're focusing on the benefits of subscribing. And again, this will lead to having more viewers, because when more people share, more people see, more people subscribe, etc. So just make sure that you've mentioned, liking, subscribing, and commenting, and the benefits as early on in the video as well. And then when you say it again at the end, it's just reinforcing that message. So now you know how to structure your story. You may now want to know what you're going to say. So this is where writing for video comes in. So creators generally tend to do this in a variety of different ways. So it could be as simple as a page of talking points to remind yourself of what topics you want to cover. And it could be, depending on the type and complexity of your video, you may want to write a full script. This provides specific dialogue for speakers and can include directions for your crew if you have one, even if it's your friend filming you. And if you're looking to create a scripted video, you can also find sample templates online. So make sure that you are speaking as you, right? This is not about faking it. This is about you being you. So a few tips for that is speak directly to the audience. Use you, not they, you. Speak one-on-one. It's more personable, and people prefer being spoken to rather than being spoken at. As I mentioned, write it the way you would say it. Your audience isn't going to read your script, so write what you would actually say and not what looks good on paper. Then read your script out loud. This is the only way to find out if your dialogue sounds natural. If you are making changes and if you sound like that, it's not natural. So you want to make sure that whatever you say feels natural to you. So if you make changes, read it aloud again and get comfortable with it. Once that's clear, you'll know roughly how much footage you need to shoot and what shots that you need. And if you're doing a voiceover, be sure to shoot some extra footage to account for pauses in the dialogue and maybe visuals that don't end up making the cut. A good way to do that is to use storyboards. So storyboards are a really great tool to kind of plan out how you want to use your video. Again, you don't need to be an artist to sketch everything out. You just need to start with your beginning, middle, and end, and then plan each shot in detail. So the more that you plan here, the easier it is to shoot your video because you know exactly what it is you're trying to capture. There are a number of digital tools available if you prefer. There's one called storyboardthat.com. Storyboardthat.com. And you can even write your storyboard out as a shot list if you don't want to draw. But there are a few things that you need to consider. What is your goal? Is this going to be part of the hook, engage, or call to action part of your story? The visuals. What can be seen in the shot? Backgrounds, items, people. Audio. What can be heard? Is it music? Is it talking? What about props? What's needed to make this shot effective? And crew, do you actually need help? Do you need someone to film, or is your camera placed somewhere stationary? Do you need something past the presenter while in shot? These are all things you need to consider. So with your research and planning done, the next thing is to consider your equipment. So you only really need basic equipment. I know a lot of people think that when you go on YouTube, you need this, complete studio, but to get started, you really don't. You just need to think about, what do I already have access to and what can I get that's within my budget? So a video camera. So with technology continuing to improve on our phones, most camera phones are pretty much high resolution enough to be able to get started. So just think about, can you mount the camera on a tripod or something, because a stable image will always look better than one that's created with someone's hands moving. And if you can't invest in a tripod, at least try to rest the phone on something. So at least it's at a height that suits your video, maybe a bookshelf. Consider the lighting. Good lighting can really enhance the look on camera. If it's really dark, you can barely see someone's face, it's not going to convey the right message. So maybe try and set up facing a window, and the natural light enhances the look of your video, but do be aware of any shadows that come across your face, because that could end up being distracting. Also consider what video editing software you might want to use. Now, there's lots of options for editing, and a lot of creators start with free editing software that's stored on their computers, such as iMovies or Windows Movie Maker, or use free online editing apps. You can also use some quick editing touch-ups in YouTube Studio. For example, add or edit end screens, as well as trim unwanted sections of your video before or after publishing. And you can always add to your basic equipment. So don't think you have to have everything as you begin, but you can start to see, you can see that you can start with what you have. So don't let anything stop you. Now, to add to your basic filming kit, we've looked at the vital things. Here are some additional low-cost options. So a tripod, again, for the phone, for the camera, whatever it is, that will help with stable shots. And if it's a movie handheld, you can also use what's known as a gimbal. For lighting, you can use ring lights. There's a lot of affordable ring lights. I can't see one right here, but you can get small ones and large ones, and it helps you to have a bit more flexibility about where you shoot, because you're essentially taking the light with you. Consider using a microphone. You need to be heard. The clarity of your voice is probably one of the most important things. Your message will never be conveyed if people cannot hear you. So think about what microphone, whether it's something you clip, something you hold, whatever that case might be. And then again, think about the video editing software that you can use. So a few top tips to think about then. Consider what can be seen. So if you, example, I was here and I was recording this and then I had my dressing gown in the background, is that really the message I want to convey? Think about, do you have any plants? Do you have any like plain walls? Do you have a lot going on? The focus should be on the person speaking or the particular object. So you really want to think about what you're wearing, what you're doing, what's in the shot, because each of these things will convey a message. Choose your space carefully. Try and find a room with clothes or carpets in it that help to avoid avoiding echoes, like the bathroom. So you don't want to be in a place that's just going to, basically send the sound back to you. So you want to like buff it up as much as possible. And then also think about the camera positions. What angles and movements do you need to capture? How's your video going to open and close? And what are the key moments going to be in between? And then how will that affect your sound? You may also consider recording your audio separately. And there are free apps that you can use called Rec Forge or Recorder Plus. And you can record your audio file with a separate device to the one that you're filming, which will then allow you to overlay later if you need to. So there are 5 basic steps to edit. The first is, and editing is about taking all of your content and now chopping it down to what's going to be usable. So think about how to import and organize your footage. Unless you're recording and editing directly on your smartphone, which is possible, your first step is usually to import all of your footage from your camera to your computer. And then as you import, you organize those files so that it's easier for you to find what you need later, and also back up your files as well. So think about reviewing and placing your favorite clips. So watch all of your footage and then make notes of the timeline to figure out how you want to arrange them into your story. So you can mark the positions. They usually have bookmarks, which will allow you to add a sound effect or something like that. And at this stage, if you see anything specifically you don't like, feel free to trim or delete clips. The next is to add visuals and sound effects. You've got completely unlimited options for titles, intros, and transitions. But do remember that sometimes less is more. You don't want the effects to distract you from the story. So although there are lots of plugins and options, you do want to make sure that everything you choose only enhances the message, not takes away. And there is a lot of useful content from the YouTube audio library as well. Next is to check your sound. So check your audience. Try listening to your video with your eyes closed so that you can know where to adjust the volume of various elements, such as voices and sound effects and music, to make sure that they nicely blend together. Make any color corrections that you need. So depending on your project, you might do a little bit of fixing of brightness and, changing a bit of color to match your shots, and adjust the color temperature to create a particular mood. And then finally, when you're ready, review the video a few times, make sure that you're satisfied with how everything looks, sounds, and flows, and then export it. Set the export settings according to your aspect ratio, and check that your software has a specific YouTube export option, which most of them do. And then once you've exported that, you upload your video and publish when ready. As I mentioned, you can schedule. So if you've got the whole thing shot and you're now breaking these down into mini videos, do that process with all of them, then export and schedule for them all to go. So there is a link that can be shared, which will lead you to the Creator Academy for YouTube for strategies, which is essentially a beginner's guide to video editing. Okay, so we're going to take a quick pause for questions before we dive into that final section. Okay, doesn't look like we've got any questions. So we're at the final hurdle. And this is, one of the most important things is, have I been successful? How do you get discovered and also track your success? So our final section is going to highlight the simple ways to help your content be discovered and how you can track that success. Essentially, how do I know if I'm moving closer to my goal and what's available to support me? So once you upload your video, there are 4 key things really to be aware about. It's important to include searchable video titles, descriptions, tags that makes it easier for people to find your video, even if they're not looking for it. So keywords. Again, YouTube is the second biggest, search engine behind Google. So if you've got a well-written description with the right keywords, it can actually boost your views and also your watch time by helping your videos show up more frequently in the search results. So using common terms like how to and review is a good way to connect with more viewers. So optimize your SEO around your existing keywords, and that will help your video get found initially. So think about popular terms, use Google's Google Trends, what's popular. Use Google Ads Keyword Planner to get an understanding about how often people are searching for specific keywords and their synonyms. And then also start to use autocomplete. So if you actually start typing a couple of letters in the search, it starts to make suggestions. And those suggestions are based on what other people have searched for. So it starts to give you an idea about what people are actually looking for. So once you know your keywords, use them to be searchable. So write down your titles and descriptions, because the description can convey valuable information that helps viewers to really find your video in the search. Identify 1 to 2 main words that will describe your video and feature them prominently in both your description and title. So, and then reinforce important words. So for example, mini lemon meringue pies appears in a video title and description, which increases the likelihood that YouTube could surface the video in search results. So if you give an overview of a video using natural language, not just a stream of keywords like keyword 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will help you. And if you identify the type, so again, how to, is it clear what the video is about? 10 steps to, how to, easy recipes for, reaction video to. And then think about how you label with a brand or series. So for example, we talked about Super Sorrel earlier. They could, that will help people to search for similar videos. So again, Mama Cherry in her description, Super Sorrel in the title. And again, just keep your description short and visible. Think about how your description starts, as this is the section that can be read easily. And that should be enough to make people want to click for more. Then think about video tags to help your viewers find your videos. So the tags you can include as you are uploading. You've got the words from your title, and you can also mix some of the general and specific tags throughout to accurately describe your video. Use keywords and also their synonyms. Include these terms and help maximize your search. Also be mindful of language. Sometimes if you're speaking to a global audience, you might want to use Z, whereas we in the UK, we tend to use the letter S, organize, for example. So you may want to include others that enable people who might be searching with a slightly different letter might also find. So build your community. Is that one of your goals? So you want people to have a community around your page. So if you integrate your channel with your website, your social media, or email, or anywhere that you find that you are visible online, it's a really great way to get your videos in front of interested viewers, encourage continued interaction and with your brand, and also help to spread your story further. Remember, there are 1/3 of the planet who are logging into YouTube every month, but there's still a number of people who aren't. So if you go to other social media platforms and you post maybe snippets of your content, that can drive them back to YouTube and get them interacting with your content. Make sure you've got links to your YouTube channel in your emails, videos to your blogs, share teasers across, and use your social media handles in all of your description pages. There is a community tab that enables you to interact directly with your subscribers. And again, that will help you to build trust and also loyalty. You can also add buttons to your YouTube banner to take your viewers directly to other pages. And then promote and integrate your channel, right? So again, just because you created it doesn't mean everyone knows that. So you want to make sure that you are putting things from other pages and that you are letting people know that you are on YouTube. So here's an example in the profile. Mama Cherry's got her YouTube channel. In the Facebook example, she's got her YouTube link. So add those links. Make sure that you are pointing people back to your YouTube pages whenever possible. And even on the website, you also want to make sure that you're doing that as well. YouTube analytics is how you understand your users. So it will help you to manage your or understand your progress. So, who's watching? What's the time of day? And where in the world are they? It even shows you how long the viewer stayed on your video. So where you might be testing out a few different videos to see what resonates with people, this is a really good tool to kind of see, well, how many views and how long are people actually staying? Views alone are not quite enough. So sign into your YouTube studio page and you can select analytics from the left-hand menu and then start to look at what type of content is driving viewers to your channel, what creators your audience have a kind of liking for, how much is your content reaching others. So i.e. what percentage of your watch time is coming from suggested traffic. And these stats will kind of help you to know what's working and what's not, so that you can adapt and change to build your channel to suit your audience. So to understand further and get the most out of analytics, head over to Support Google for YouTube, because they do have some additional information for you there. Now, lastly, remember that success on YouTube is not just about view counts and likes. It really depends on what matters to you. Is your content really reaching your intended audience? Are they watching, listening? Are they interested? Are they commenting? Are they engaged in any way? So questions that we generally tend to get is, I'd love to know if my content is reaching users. Impressions. An impression is logged every time a viewer comes across one of your video thumbnails. So this does not include traffic from notifications, end screens, or external embeds and links. So just think of each impression as a potential reach on YouTube and an opportunity to earn a view. So I've seen it, but what's going to push me to actually click on that and view it? Which leads to the second one. Are viewers seeing, hearing, and watching my video content? Look at your click-through rates. This CTR shows you what percentage of your impressions on YouTube turned into views. 100 people saw my video, 3 people clicked on it. That's a 3% click-through rate. Get it? It's likely to represent a subset of your channel's total views, since again, not all impressions are counted in this metric, such as those from external websites or end screens, but it makes you aware that everyone in YouTube, that's the percentage of people who are converting. And the views will tell you how many times a video has been watched and can be a great measure of the overall popularity. Are my viewers interested? Well, what's the average view duration? This will give you the amount of time that they're actually watching a piece of content. And this is important to know, because if people are viewing, but they're not really watching it, then what's the point? So watch time chart will help you understand how long people have been spending on watching your content. So, once you've got your results, adapt and change your content. Trends change, and so don't be afraid to try something new. Okay, so any questions? So Marmad is asking about videos that go viral. So going viral is slightly different from here. Here is a more structured way of communicating with your audience. Going viral is sometimes actually just a stroke of luck. I recently know a person who posted a video of the royal event. So one of the things to be aware of, if you're trying to go viral, it needs to be something that everyone is already interested in. So with the King's coronation a couple of weeks ago, they posted a snippet of that and overlaid it with some music, and it literally hit over 3 million views in a day. Can they consistently do that? Unlikely. So, but what that did is it promoted their content. So you need to have a strong page, a strong channel already, so that when you get to the stage of creating a video that does go viral, then people can actually look and say, all right, you know what you're talking about. Okay, so we've just got one. I hope that helps, Mohammed. We've got 1 more minute to go. So I just want to wrap up and just go through the learnings of today. So again, we've broken it down. Find your niche. Answer, what's your passion? Why do you want to create that content, and who's going to watch it? That will give you a clear foundation to create content with purpose. Capture attention with engaging content. Take your time before filming. Research, choose the right type of content, create with confidence, be consistent. Get found and track your success using keywords, YouTube analytics, and don't be afraid to try something new. So just as we finish, a very quick reminder, there is the one-to-one free mentoring for small businesses and charities in the UK. And lastly, I'd just like to thank you for engaging with us today, for keeping Na very busy in the chat, for all of the questions that popped us. And we would love for you to give us some feedback on how we are using our channel to help to educate you. So however you decide to use YouTube and create video for your channel, we hope that you do it passionately. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.